Dude, that is a perfect name for like declaring something outrageous and then following it up with my name isn't Goldsworthy Gunny.
Yes, that is exactly.
That is the perfect name for that. Welcome to Short Pour, where we are continuing our season of the Fresh Start. We're your hosts. I'm Chris.
And I'm Brandon. This episode, I chose the Limelight Lime Gose. And the reason I chose this one is because it's just like this island with a hammock and a radio on it. And just seemed like a great place to get a fresh start. Although now that I'm looking at it, I'm realizing like there's literally nothing else there.
Yeah.
So you would have to like literally start from scratch on everything.
Yeah. The truest of fresh starts.
It's the freshest of starts, yeah. That's what I went with.
All right, so the back of the bottle for this one is pretty simple. Lime, salt, and a sharp tartness makes this Lime Gose crisp, refreshing, and easy to drink. Put your feet up and enjoy the Limelight.
Hey, all right.
And this is from Three Rings Brewery.
Yep, in Kansas.
Yep. Oh, and this one comes in at a 4.5 ABV.
A little more than the non-alcoholic we had last time.
Yeah. At least 4.5% more. Or at least 4.4%.
Yeah.
More.
At least 4.4, yeah.
Dude, I'm trying to place the smell of this. It doesn't smell like lime to me. Does it smell like lime to you?
A little bit.
It smells like bran cereal or something to me.
What?
It doesn't smell like lime to me.
Like Raisin Bran or something?
Well, without the raisins.
Okay.
It smells like sweetened
Is that
oats
just
or something.
What are those? Is that just like
Bran?
Yeah, I guess just I was thinking of like cornflakes.
Yeah, I think it's just called bran.
Yeah, I think you're right. Why do you think I've come all this way?
Oh, dude, don't even get me started. I hate that line so
I know you
so
do.
much.
I know you do. That's why I said
all this way. I fucking hate it, dude. Ugh. You know, I just rewatched the entirety of Game of Thrones because Jay hadn't seen it before ever.
Yeah.
And we got to that part and I hate it so much, dude. Because earlier in the season, he's even like, "Oh, I'm not the lord of anything now." You know, like, "Oh, I'm not a ruler. I'm just a three-eyed raven." But then all of a sudden, well, you can be king. Why do you think I came all this way? Oh, shut the fuck up. I hate it.
Yeah.
So much.
He's so smug about it.
I know.
Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
You explicitly told us you weren't going to be a ruler.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
So
I've poured. I'm ready to start drinking. And it sounds like you might need to.
Yeah. No, but she liked it. So I mean, pretty much like everybody else, even with a rewatch, the first like 4 or 5 seasons were like they were even better than the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
Because then I could like pay attention to more of like the subtleties and like, oh, like this is a breadcrumb that's gonna come later and all these different lines. I could like focus on more of like the bigger story than just the plot points that were like in front of me.
Yeah.
But also with that, like the last 3 seasons were even worse than I remembered. Because like the fall off was just like so fast and like so hard. And like she knew some of the main plot points and stuff.
Yeah.
So some of the things were like had been spoiled for her already. But she didn't know like how they got there. So I mean, kind of like everybody else, she like really liked the first 5 seasons. And then by the last episode, we were both like ready for like, okay, we're ready to just be done with the show. Like it's ruined.
I know. I remember.
All right, let's get a fresh start from that nonsense with this beer.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
I've already poured, so I'm going.
Yep. Whoa, that is salty. Holy shit, that is salty.
That is salty.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god.
I gotta.
It told us.
Jay loves salt. Oh my god, she'll probably like this. Here, I'm gonna go let Jay try this real quick.
All right. What's the verdict?
Jay's famously not very much of a beer drinker. She said she liked it a little bit.
All right.
Because it's very salty.
It is really salty.
She also said, this tastes like something that you would drink while eating Mexican food.
Yes.
She thinks it's probably because it's she said it reminded her of like that like really high salt contrast, like with a margarita, like with salted rim.
Yes. Yep.
She also was worried about the like little film of micro bubbles or whatever on the top. I hadn't noticed that actually, but yeah, does yours have like a little film on top?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So she was like, I don't like that part.
I'm not worried about it.
That's what I told her to. I was like, she was like, hopefully it's not anything bad. I'm sure you drink it. I'm like, no, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah. I don't even think about it at this point.
Dude, that is so salty.
It is salty. I will give it that.
Jesus. All right, what did people think of this one?
All right, so I got a couple reviews. They're pretty short. First one, best Gose I've ever had. Holy fuck. Perfect balance of salty and lime. First ever 5-star rating.
Wow.
That person loved it.
Yeah.
But the next review is, I think, is really, really funny. So this guy posted, and he has like a profile picture. It just says, subtle tart on the finish. Pairs well with 98 degrees and an above ground pool. He means like the temperature, right? Like he's not talking about like Nick Lachey's like boy brand.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, I have 98 degrees in my pool.
I love getting myself a Gose and listen to some 98 degrees out here. He just ends it with support Kansas beer, which is fine. But later that same day, at some point, someone responded to him. Like they can respond to his review. Jason R says, how's it going? And so then this guy responds back.
Oh, God.
Life is good. Work and kids keeping me busy. You? Was thinking we might need to do an exchange one of these days. And then Jason R never responded back.
No, a misconnection. Yeah, dude. So I don't think I've ever had a Gose before. So I looked into it. Do you know what it is, what the style is?
No, not really. It's like a sour. Is it a sour?
Yeah, the defining characteristic is it is a salty, sour German beer.
Yeah, it is. It's got it both, yeah.
Yep. Holy shit, this is salty.
It is very salty.
This is the saltiest beer I've ever had.
Yeah. When I was thinking a similar thing of just like, it's obviously salt and lime, so I immediately went to like, it is kind of like margarita-y.
Yeah. Well, I could see that too with like, especially from like, if you go to like a Mexican restaurant, like a lot of the time the flavors are like, they're flavorful, but they're like really like almost like you get like a lot of like the fat and like a lot of the almost more mellow flavors in combination. So I feel like, yeah, maybe people like the salty punch of like, boom, there's salt, and then you can go back in and cover it up with more, more refried beans.
Yeah.
All right, and now I think we're gonna go ahead and take a break here and have a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Peter Peener, and I'd like to share my famous peanut butter with everyone. Peanut butter is a peanut butter alternative, and it can do almost everything traditional peanut butter can do. Making a protein shake? Power it up with peanut butter. Have a dog? Treat them with some peanut butter. I'm proud to say that my product is locally sourced from me. Look for Peter Peener's peanut butter at a store near you today.
Warning, do not attempt to consume Peter Peener's peanut butter with any substance remotely similar to jams or jellies. Peter Peener cannot be held liable for any accidents or injuries that may occur while using his famous peanut butter. All right, welcome back. So for this one, the thing I decided to look into was the phrase "in the limelight."
Ooh.
And where that came from. Do you know anything about that phrase?
No.
Like where that phrase came from? Okay, good.
No, actually.
It refers originally to burning the mineral lime. So in the early 1820s, there was an English inventor, and this guy's name was Goldsworthy Gurney.
No way.
Yeah, his first name is Goldsworthy.
Goldsworthy.
Could you imagine just like
gosh.
how pretentious that guy had to have been, or like his?
Yeah.
I can't do it,
dude. That is a perfect name for like declaring something outrageous and then following it up with the, "Oh, my name isn't Goldsworthy Gunny."
Yes, that is exactly.
That is the perfect name for that.
Yeah, that is actually a great one for that. So Goldsworthy, he created a blowpipe that burned really brightly when you added calcium oxide to it, which is what lime is.
Okay.
And so it created this like really, really intense white light.
Okay.
But I was like, I mean, there's more to the story, but I was thinking about that and I was like, wait, so this guy had a blowpipe that he was heating up and he put in some like rocks. And I was like, was he like trying to get high?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that
No,
sounds
but-
like I was like, dude, he was looking for drugs. And then he was like,
Yeah,
oh
dude.
shit, look at this light.
He was lighting up a crystal, man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, wait, you wanted to do what now?
Yeah.
Goldsworthy, man. Come on.
I'm gonna get fucking zoinked, or my name isn't Goldsworthy Gurney.
Dude, it's just like such a like, how did you come to this point?
Oh my gosh.
So a few years later, there was a Scottish engineer who like further developed that technology into a surveying tool. And so they were I believe they were trying to survey or like map out like parts of like Ireland. And so they would be in the like sea floating by and they like couldn't see, you know, it was just hard to see everything. It's like really cloudy and foggy and stuff. So when they got this, then the light could like, it was really bright. It could like pierce through the like condensation and they could see like a better, more accurate version of like the cliff sides and the mountains and all that stuff. And so they were able to get a more accurate like survey of the land. And then in 1837, the Limelight, it was called Limelight, was like that technology. It became.
Wait, so it creates like a beam, like that, like
yeah, I guess it's like a flashlight
like a
kind of thing.
flashlight almost.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So then in 1837, they started to use Limelight to light up stages, and before that, like in a theater, they would use like gas lamps, like hundreds of gas lamps with like open flame. And you couldn't really like direct the light anywhere, and it wasn't really all that bright. And obviously, it's like a huge fire hazard. So they started using these lime lights instead, and it became like the preferred method because you could highlight like a specific part of the stage. You could simulate like daytime and moonlight, and you know, obviously, you're creating like a spotlight. So then they started using that instead, and it eventually like phased out because we came up with like electric bulbs and stuff, but the problem with using it in that way was that you had to have someone monitor the lime, like because it was a fuel. So as it was burning, like someone had to like keep adding to like keep it at the right like intensity or keep going through the show. And it also apparently was a pretty big fire hazard in itself. So
yeah,
they cut it out too. But that's where the phrase comes from then, is that it was actually initially used as like the first like actual spotlights of a stage.
dude, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And it's all thanks to Goldsworthy.
Yeah, chasing that dragon.
Dude, just like, what a name.
Goldsworthy.
Hey, this is an actual question that I don't know if you know this. This might have to be one of those things we go into our own rabbit hole. What goes inside of a spotlight? You know, like the ones that like shine up in the air? Like outside of like a premiere?
Like what kind of light?
Yeah, what are they using to like create that light? Because it's like such a bright light.
Let's see, how do outdoor spotlights work? I'm getting a lot of landscaping lighting.
Oh. Do you remember that Blockbuster by our house that like always had a spotlight on? Do you remember that?
Yes.
How did they afford to do like why were they doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. I do remember that.
Because it had the like 3 and it was like on like a rotating like kind of like effect.
Yeah. Dude, and the thing that I remember most about that Blockbuster
Was the
was
smell?
that it always because
Yes.
it was right next to Papa Murphy's and it smelled just like the Papa Murphy's.
Yeah, dude.
It smelled exactly like unbaked pizza.
Yep. Dude, I remember when do you remember Blockbuster used to do those like rain checks?
No.
So it was like, like big movies would come out on like a Friday or something. and they would have, a whole bunch of copies of them. But if the movie was gone and you went to go rent it, they would give you a rain check, and you could like rent it for a day or two for free if they didn't have it in stock.
Okay.
So I remember like mom and dad would purposely go later into Friday evening.
Oh, yeah.
And then be like, hey, we want to rent this movie. And they're like, oh, we're all out. We'll have to give you a rain check. And they're like, oh, darn.
That's hilarious, dude.
But they just got it for free then.
Yeah. That's just being savvy there, man.
Yeah, I know. Did you find anything for a spotlight though?
No, I didn't. It's all just like landscaping.
Looking it up. It just keeps giving me like floodlights for like a backyard.
Yeah, see?
But I don't know what are the names of those lights that like spin around?
Yeah, like the ones that like McDonald's has for some fucking reason.
Yeah. I just think of them for like movie premieres. I don't know why, but
yeah,
the world may never know. I like actually can't find anything on them.
Yeah, I can't either. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know. Is this like a Mandela effect or something? Where like everybody spotlight technology used to be common knowledge, and now it's just erased from everybody's memory.
Well, it's like like how they make the bat signal.
Yeah.
What is that called? Is that not called a spotlight? I thought it was called a spotlight.
What kind of light is the bat signal? Oh, a searchlight, maybe.
Maybe it's a searchlight.
How do sky searchlights work? The top answer says a searchlight or spotlight.
Yes.
It's an apparatus that combines an extremely bright source, traditionally a carbon arc lamp, with a mirrored parabolic reflector to project a powerful beam of light of approximately parallel rays in a particular direction. But yeah, I think you're thinking of searchlight, is what the term is for that.
Yeah, I will say everything I see says a searchlight or a spotlight, or also known as a spotlight. So I wasn't that far off. Okay, so it's just like mirrors.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, it looks like they use like a mirror to focus
it, yeah.
And like enhance the beam to create the beam.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, how do they get like the like ray? Like you can see a very concentrated ray coming out.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. It's the same kind of lights that they use on like helicopters, also when they're like chasing people.
Okay, yeah.
I guess it is like a lot longer of a distance, so it would be kind of different because the searchlight. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine having one of those like pointing at a person on stage? Like, you know what I mean? Like 20 feet away.
Yeah, this thing I'm reading says that this searchlight can broadcast its beam up to 4.3 miles.
Oh my gosh.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, well, it sounds like that's about the time to end the episode.
As always, if you can subscribe, rate, review our podcast, that would really help us out. Please follow us on Instagram at shortpourpodcast or send us a beer recommendation at shortpourpod@gmail.com.
And as always, whether you pour short
or pour long,
always finish.